Hey, big news! Now, the stats for the 4-star weapon in the new 1.3 version of Wuthering Waves is already out. And I have to be honest with you, they're all the same, right? And this is probably a Kuro game kind of stuff. We have the same things for every weapon, including the weapons for the craftable weapons or the gacha weapons. They have like there's this somewhat similar skills. And for the whole, I mean, then again, Genshin also did the same thing for the Favonius weapon, like the energy. Every Favonius weapon give like energy. Every sacrificial sword or sacrificial weapons in Genshin Impact, they give like you can do double the skills. They all do that, and it's not a problem. I have no issue with that, and I have to say, this whole thing is actually pretty damn good. This is what I wanted from the Wuthering Waves weapon. It gives attack percent, attack. The stats are actually not that bad. And the weapon skill right here, casting the resonance skill grants 6 resonance energy. And that is good. That is like a sacrificial thing, the Favonius thing in Genshin Impact. And it also increased the attack percent. That is a huge bonus, and it's not bad. And if you can get this thing to R5, which is I'm gonna be real with you here, it's kind of impossible for some reason. Most of my weapon, even though I pulled for the weapon banner, many times already, like 3 times already, I still couldn't get any of the weapons to R5. It's very weird that I couldn't, but it is what it is. I keep getting characters mostly, and I'm not complaining. It's okay. At the end of the day, the weapons that matters most are the 5 stars. So let's go for this. Okay, let's go through this all of it and try reading it and see who is it good for, and we'll compare here and there. Just continue watching this video. Now let's go to the sword first. Now the sword here, right here, base attack is pretty alright. It's not that bad. It's not as high as the 5-star weapon. 5-star weapon are in a whole different level. As we can see from the Shangli Yao's weapon itself, it's huge. Huge base attack increase. Okay, attack percent 18.2 is alright. As long as it's an attack percent, it's okay. It's good for a lot of characters as long as they avoid this death percent. Let me just show you real quick what I can find right here. Like the Dauntless Evernight defense. And who is it good for? That one character. Ah, damn it! I forgot the name. I'll just show you a picture. Now that's what it's good for, and we have to avoid that because not a lot of characters can use it. Okay, it's for specific characters. Like Yuan Wu also has his own gauntlets as well. Now weapon skills. I have to be honest with you here. Weapon skill for all these new weapon, they're all pretty much the same. I'm not complaining or anything, but we can go to this very fast and very quick just by going to one of the weapons. Casting the resonance skill grants 6 resonance energy. Already it's a pretty good start actually, because right now it looks like a Favonius thing that Genshin Impact used to do. Increase attack 10%. It's a huge bonus, okay? It's good for a lot of characters, including what's that girl's name? My favorite character. Oh damn it, she's Havok as well. Okay, the Rover is pretty good in this. Probably a lot more characters that I couldn't name right now. And for the broad blade, I'm just gonna say it, Jian, Kalkaro. If you're still using Kalkaro after getting Shengliao, I don't know. Maybe some of you are a big fan of Kalkaro and you don't have his 5-star weapon. And Kalkaro also have like resonance skill that you can use 3 times, so that's a huge one as well. Resonance skill grants resonance energy and then increase attack by 10%. Like that's pretty damn good. And if you have Jian also use a lot of resonance skill, especially his C1 S1, he used 2 resonance skills, so that I mean it doesn't stack or anything, but it can last a bit longer now, isn't it? This effect can only trigger by like 20 seconds. Forgot to mention that. So now for the pistols, attack percent, attack percent again. The base attack are all the same here, okay? The base attack are all the same. And this is probably going to be good for auto and but then again we also have the cadenza already right here. Now Mortefi is pretty good with a lot of weapons. I have to say that there's a bunch of pistols here and there. It's a bit plain, it's a bit dull because they mostly give something like when intro skill is released, increase resonance liberation and resonance skill but damage bonus 20%. It's just very boring, and this is a huge upgrade in a way, but unfortunately I would recommend for energy recharge if you use a support like the Alto and Mortefi, okay? But maybe it will be good for Chia, if you use her as a DPS. It will actually be nice. And for this, what's the person's name again? Okay, look, I have to say, I know this is out of topic, but Jian Xin, I mean, come on, the name of the characters, you have to admit that it's very difficult to pronounce in a way. If you compare to Genshin Impact, is very memorable. Diluc, Jean, Mona is very memorable. And for I can't even remember my favorite character. The favorite character that I have in Wuthering Waves. I don't remember her name sometimes. It's crazy. But look, this is the huge problem with Wuthering Waves, and the more I play, I kind of agree to the a lot of content creators that says that the names here are not very, are not very memorable, and that's just too bad because I like the names already. Except when they continue to only focus on the Chinese aspect of the names, it's gonna ruin the game a bit here and there. Now let's talk about the gauntlets. Pretty damn good for Jensen. The other one is Ling Yang. Okay, that's about it. And for this, rectify also, of course, it's gonna be good for Shanglia, but Shanglia is like, I just have to say that why wouldn't you go for the 5-star weapon? Because you got him for free, and the 5-star weapons that is the 30% upgrade damage bonus. Okay, it's just too good to avoid it. But I know that Shorekeeper is also like very close, and then you have this Camellia. Camellia drip market is very annoying. I understand. I get it. I'm not gonna blame you for it if you avoid skipping Shanglia's weapon. It's okay. Rectifier. Now we all know that Verena uses attack percent, so that's kind of good. But of course, also the most important character is Yin Lin because Yin Lin also need attack percent, and she's also lacking a lot of resonance energy, and she has 2 resonance skills, so that's kind of a huge bonus. If you miss the other one, you can have like another chance. So yeah, you're all good. Yin Lin, Shorekeeper, and Verena can probably use this. Oh, I forgot one more, and it's Encore. It's a huge DPS. All this weapon it's very good for a lot of characters. You can change around, and that's one of the best part about Wuthering Waves. If you play the Tower of Adversity, you can mix around the weapons here and there. If only they have like a loadouts for these characters, like artifact loadouts that we've been asking for Genshin for ages. Now we need echo loadouts for Wuthering Waves and including the weapons as well. Because like if you use Kakaro on the other teams, you can change it to Jian when you're using his teams. It's really good, and I really hope they have loadouts because this game needs loadouts more than ever. Now that we finished talking about the new weapons, now I have to admit my mistakes here. I said in my last video where I wish for a weapon that can maybe heal you here and there, and it's a 4-star weapons. And guess what? There is even a broad blade right here, and I didn't notice this whole time we have it here with us. But the problem is, it's also like when the resonators have to be at 80% increase attack by 12%, right? And when you use Verena, you're barely in an 80% form. You either at full health bar or you're just dead because the enemy can kind of one-shot you if you play the hologram or the TOA. And that is the only issue. But I do think this is somewhat of a good weapon in a way. It's not that bad. If you have it at R5, it does include like 24% damage. It's not bad. And the healing 10% if you have R5 for dealing basic attack damage or heavy attack, which is good for Kalkaro because he kinda used a lot of heavy attack through his forte. Alright, that is all I wanted to talk about with the craftable weapons. They're all pretty much the same, so I'm not gonna go through all of it. But yes, I was wrong about, about it here and there, and that is just it. Now let's talk about the Amity Cord right here. Now Amity Cord, it has defense percent. It's good for only Yuan Wu. Now Yuan Wu doesn't do a lot of damage because we mostly use him as a shielder. At least for me, who is using him at S5, S4, I think, S6 already currently. Because S4 gave like a shield, and even if you don't get the S4, you would use him as a defense as well because you use the Turtle Echo and he gets shield, and you just don't use him for damage at all. You build him in defense, 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 and that's about it because you gain damage through that. Cadenza, one of the best weapon for supports. This is one of the best. It's good for Mortefi, it's good for Auto, and I wish there's more. But at the moment, even I only just have one because for some reason in Wuthering Waves I barely lose 50 or 4 stars to weapons. I keep getting characters and I barely have any weapons in the game. Like my Yinlin is still using a 3-star weapon because I don't want to keep changing from Yinlin Verena, Yinlin Verena. It's very annoying, so I'm just gonna stick to 3-star weapons. Now, Cadenza is one of the best weapon because it has energy recharge. It's good for Auto and Mortefi at the moment. Comet Flare. it has HP percent. You need to use basic attack and heavy attack, and it's pretty obvious who is good for, and that is by Z. Is a healer, and she needs to be on field. One of the worst kind of healing in game in any games because you need to stay on the field for too long. Meanwhile, Verena just use one attack in the air and then you swap character. Done, and you don't need to stay on the field for too long. And that's just how healers should be working in any games. Now let's go to the Commando of Conviction. It could be good for a lot of characters as well. It's very universal, but unfortunately it doesn't really give that much damage because you have to have an intro skill. And the attack percent is good, but unfortunately it's not flexible enough. You can't really swap characters. You need to have that intro skill and then you gain the attack percent. So a lot of the times people may miss this huge damage bonus. Now, download Soy every night. I've complained about it before. I've complained about it now. It's only worked for one character who I can't think of a name right now. And I just put a picture. That is who it's good for. But it doesn't make sense as well because right here she used defense percent, right? And then the skills decide to, you know what, we're gonna give like attack percent just for fun. Just for fun. Like it's pretty useless, but she gains some attack percent. So that's weird, right? It's like they can't, for some reason, think of a way to make this weapon good, and they want to make this weapon a bit more universal. But unfortunately, there's just better weapons if you want attack percent, which is the Helios Cleaver, the best 4-star weapons for Jian and Kakaru. Currently, is like the only one that I use because of the stacking up 4 times. And Kakaru can stack up probably 3 times. Definitely 4 times is possible. And Jian also works the same way. And this effect can be triggered every 12 seconds, which is just already perfect. By the time that you have Jian's, if you have his S1 and you use his like skill, and then you wait around, and I'm sure you're gonna get at least 3 stacks. So that's a huge bonus increase. This is the only weapon that is a 4-star that you need currently for your DPS. And that's about it. You don't use Discord because it has energy regen. Okay? You don't. In a way, it is good for that one character that use Download 7 It's much better than using Download 7 You might as well use Discord if you have it. Anyway, let's go to the Hollow Mirage. Remember when I said that the new weapons of the gauntlets is good for, Jansen and Lingyang. This is the weapon that they had to use before, and it includes each stack increased attack and defense percent. I find that very useless. It's very bad. It's an armor type of damage dealing. It's very confusing. Like, why would you do that? You know? All you need in this game is deal more damage. For some reason, they gave like extra defense. It's pretty useless. You don't really need it. The boss are gonna one-shot you anyway. I'ma just be real with you there. Yeah, it's a pretty bad weapon for DPS because it gives attack percent, increase attack, and defense. I don't know why they did that. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Jinzo Keeper, the only weapon that I can use for Encore right now. I really don't have much. And I would love to have that new sweet new weapon and give it to Yinlin. And Encore can have this weapon still, like I don't have to switch around anymore. I'm so sick of switching weapons around. And yeah, that is my complaint. Luna Cutter, people have said as well, again, that is good for. Damn it, I'm just gonna search for the name.
A few moments later.
Alright, I got the name Dungeon. Lunakata is good for dungeon. And remember the defense percent character that I was talking about? Her name is Tauchi. Alright, look, it's very difficult to remember and I don't use them a lot. I use Dungeon a lot. But unfortunately, she's not built yet, so I have to like not use her from time to time. It's too bad. It's really too bad. But because we got the free weapon, 5-star weapon, right? We don't need this weapon because of that. And not to mention for me, people like me that pull for Changli and her weapon, well, you know what it means, right? I use Changli's weapon for dungeon instead. And it's good, it's amazing, it's one of her best in slot now. As for the 5-star standard weapon, I use it for the rover, and it's nice. It looks good on her. I mean, not really, but it's great, okay? It's great crit stat, and I like it. Luna Cutter, good weapon for the DPS 4-star, but unfortunately not usable anymore because of how much 5-stars that we've been getting in this game, and that's just about it. Marcato. Now Marcato is probably the best one goblet that I use right now. I don't use any of these goblets that give defense percent, attack percent, but confusingly also give like defense percent. It's weird, right? So I decided to use Marcato on my Yuanwu. He needs a lot of energy which the new 4-star weapon also give energy regen and attack percent, but then again, it doesn't give defense. So this is the only weapon for him I would recommend. It's somewhat a similar thing for Mortefi as well, like for his cadenza, right? Now, Nova Burst, when resonated dashes or dodges. Now, this is just really good for Alto, actually. Even Chisha. I feel like I said it wrong before, but yeah, it's Chisha. Most of the DPS guns right now is just Chisha. Overseer is good for, well, Rover. I use it for Rover as well from time to time. Switching it if I mistakenly choose the 5-star standard weapon for my dungeon and I switch it to Overture for Rover. Whereas the skill is released the same as Cadenza and the Mercato, right? It's a good energy regen, it's good burst, quick swap character. Undying Flame. When intro skill is released, increased resonance skill damage. Undying Flame is just a decent weapon that gives like increased damage for skill damage bonus. Okay, it's not much to talk about again. Now, Variation is the weapon that I keep on trying to swap between Yinlin and Verena. It's just a good energy regen weapon, and Yinlin also, she needs a lot of energy regen. She uses a lot of burst because the burst is one of the best way for your other characters to get extra damage bonus. She needs a burst, she needs energy regen quite a lot, and this is the weapon. And Verena is using it a lot as well because she also needs it. It's very difficult to find a great weapon for these characters, so you have to swap around. Unfortunate, I know. Now we're going for the Battle Pass weapon. Battle Pass weapon is not that big to talk about. Crit rate, attack percent, crit rate, attack percent. You know, it's like it's a huge damage increase, increase basic attack, increase heavy attack. It's not a lot to talk about. It's a good weapon. You know, it's an alright weapon. It's just very plain. You get attack percent. If you do basic attack, you get increased attack percent. It's a good weapon for damage dealer, and that is all I can say. Now, thank you for watching this video. I know it's a bit too long, and to be honest, I just wanted to cover the new weapons only because it's good to have that new stats, and it's kind of breath of fresh air in a way when it comes to Wuthering Waves because most of the 4-star weapons in the game is very bad, and I keep having to go back to Genshin and compare it to that game because that game has really good 4-stars. Sacrificial Sword, Favonius Weapon, is great. Okay, thank you for watching the video. See ya.